This is Richard Flax at MoneyFarm, talking about some of the things that have caught our attention over the past couple of days. The focus this week very much around managing through uncertainty. When we look at the US, we see an increase in volatility and a bit of a sell-off in the tech space, a sector that has done extremely well this year. And in the UK, we see continuing concerns around Brexit, heightened perhaps by some of the moves the UK government has been making over the past few days. And we've seen that reflected in a relatively sharp sell-off in the currency compared, for instance, to the US dollar. On the first point, when we think about tech in the US, we see obviously that it has had a very strong performance year to date. And within our relatively diversified equity exposure, these portfolios have benefited from that. We do see some concerns around valuation. We see some concerns about positioning, perhaps longer term, some questions around the regulatory environment. But we think that the structural trends in favor of technology, in favor of digitalization and how people spend their time and their money online remains relatively intact. So there may be some shorter term volatility as you know, in terms of expectations perhaps having gotten ahead of themselves, but we think that the longer term story is very much intact. From the perspective of Brexit, we typically think about this in the context of how we construct portfolios. If you're an optimist, you say, no, this is all part of a negotiating strategy and the deal will come through and it'll be a favorable one, hopefully for all sides. If you are more of a pessimist, you say, no, this has all been left too late. Two sides are too far apart, and what was once called a no deal will be the result, and it will be a negative one. When we think from a longer term perspective, we think it's important to maintain these relatively globally diversified portfolios, not just to take advantage of the broad range of opportunities that we see around the world, but also to manage the risk of some specific shocks like the one that we're living through at the moment in terms of these Brexit negotiations. So with that in mind, you know, we continue to look for opportunities. We continue to think of volatility, if we see it in financial markets, as an opportunity to find assets that are attractively valued and that have some good long-term returns. And that's really how we're going to be focusing our time. Thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon.